This Is It. It was like his concert movie.
No,
My mom was a big Michael Jackson fan, and so I saw that in 2008. But it was like right after he died, or 2009.
Right.
So it was like a...
I know like Connor likes Michael Jackson stuff, but I don't know. Like the allegations that always kind of hung over everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he beat it in court, but I mean, there were so many, right?
Yeah.
And, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard saying. I mean, Billie Jean came on not too long ago. This is a great song.
Yeah. Or like every Halloween, you hear Thriller and you're like, my God, this song is so good.
Yeah, we watched the Thriller music video in music class. And like choir or something, just as like a... I don't even really know.
It was such an event when it came out. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think being my age, I don't really all the way appreciate I watched music videos and stuff growing up. I love music videos, but like to your point, my dad was like, when Thriller came out, like we were seated with MTV on, waiting for it to come out. It was an event.
Was huge. Well, and that was just it. Like, we're back in my day, but like that was always on. Like instead of the radio or whatever, you would just have music videos on. Like your friends were over or whatever. You were just hanging out. Or you were just like doing your homework. You had MTV on. That's so it was, which, now that it's gone, it's kind of like, oh, that's sad. Like it was just weird.
Yeah, I guess so is MTV like gone?
It's gone. Like
really?
It ended earlier this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like it's off. It's gone.
Whoa.
But I mean, the thing is music videos they didn't make money. And that's why it moved to reality TV. It was like one of the first reality TV shows was The Real Life.
Yes.
And that was a winner. And then like Road Rules and, and then that kicked off like Survivor came on and, and all that sort of stuff. So it kind of kicked that off. And that, reality TV was really profitable for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved away from it. Just like Discovery Channel moved away from like, it used to be about like exploring, like National Geographic, right?
What's on Discovery now?
Discovery now, it's all like HGTV shows and things like that, and like I think like it's like reruns of like the Most Dangerous Job or whatever, the crab fishing.
Okay, gotcha.
And stuff like
not dirty jobs, but just like the most like actual dangerous jobs.
Yeah. Okay, so like the ice fishing and that, or not ice fishing, but the Bering Strait crab.
Okay.
So that sort of stuff. But they all moved away from what they originally were. So.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that Vikings show?
Love Vikings.
Because that was History Channel.
That was History Channel. Yeah. Was that History? Yes. I think it was. I think it was the History Channel, or
because they still mostly do history stuff.
Yeah.
Right, but they just kind of
loved Vikings. It was such a good show.
Okay, I think one of my friends had, I think, like the DVD or a box set for like the first 2 seasons. So I think I've only seen the first season.
Yeah,
but I really enjoyed it. Ragnar,
yeah, and all that sort of stuff, which is really cool. So I listened to a podcast. It's called The History of English.
Okay,
and it's basically the history of English from Proto-Indo, the language that a majority of the world's languages came from was this Proto-Indo-European, which came from like the steppes of Kazakhstan.
Oh,
and from there it spread, and it's really just kind of the etymology of figuring out that there was a language that made these other languages. The story of it's really cool. So initially, like the Grimm brothers,
mm-hmm.
So Jacob Grimm, one of the brothers, was a linguist. And the reason they had collected like Grimm's fairy tales was he was collecting them because he was listening to the language.
Okay.
And so he came up with this theory, and it's not theory, but it's been proven, scientific theory, which means it's a proven fact. But there was a vowel shift in different languages, especially in German, because he did his work in German. But what really kicked things off was when India became a colony
of
Great Britain. And in India, as just sort of like, look at, okay, so we're not total colonizers. We're just going to come in. We're going to let you continue your laws.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did is they would follow the old laws, and there were like experts in India, but all the old laws were written in Sanskrit.
Okay.
And so they had these experts. And the British were like, well, we don't know. They're saying it's not, according to the Sanskrit, but nobody knows Sanskrit. So they brought in an expert. Mm-hmm. It was this like colonel who'd served around the world, and he could speak like 6 languages.
Okay.
And they brought him in. They're like, hey, guess what? Off to India with you. You get to speak Sanskrit now. Figure this out so that we can make sure that,
what they're saying is
true, and they're not screwing us.
Okay, gotcha.
But he was the first to recognize, because he spoke Latin, he spoke Greek, he spoke a bunch of different languages. Sanskrit, and then looking back at Grimm's Law, which is actually the consonant changes.
Okay.
Looking back at Grimm's Law, he realized that, wait a minute, Sanskrit, Latin, Greek, they're all very similar. And we can trace, we can trace the origins of German and, Germanic languages
mm-hmm.
and Frankish languages.
Like Romance languages.
Romance languages, but like Germanic languages, which are different than, which is, what English is based on. It's a Germanic.
Gotcha.
But he realized that Sanskrit, ancient Greek, and all of those. So like the word potter.
Okay.
In
like one who makes pots.
No, like Pater.
Oh,
like,
father.
Like father.
Okay.
But you can hear that word and you can trace it. So in Grimm's Law, which was the change in German and High German to Low German, the T sound changed to a D. Mm. So you can see, so that's how we wound up with Vater, which eventually became father.
Mm.
But also the P sound changed to an F sound in Germanic, according to Grimm's Law. And then he looked at that and he realized that the word for father in Greek, in Sanskrit, in Latin are all there. It was like father or a potter, vader with the D. And he was like, wait a minute. Eerily similar. And then he found like a whole list of words. And he's like, all these words come from another source, but it's all the same source. And that's how they traced it to these like nomadic tribes in the herds. That was the origin of basically all the European languages.
Dang. And so how long ago was that?
So somewhere between 3,500 and 4,500 BC.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so a real long time ago.
Yeah, and then, because the Semitic languages, some of the Semitic languages, like Syrian and stuff like that, there's a little bit of mixing there, but they come from another source.
Okay.
So they can say that there's a split.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but anyway, long story short. Wow, that was a really long story. I apologize.
I'm here for it.
This podcast I listen to follows that all through.
Sweet.
Into the English. And then, so when it comes to like Vikings, it was really cool because there's a lot of the early Anglo-Saxon kings, like Ethelbert and Athelstan and all of those, which it's kind of cool because they're the early kings of England before it became Norman and it became English, right?
Gotcha.
The English monarchy with the Tudors and the Stuarts and all that sort of stuff. But that was what was cool for me because I'm such a language nerd, just to go through that. But
right. Okay, so how do you know all this stuff?
I read a lot. I listen a lot. I think that's just like my special brand of like neurospiciness.
Gotcha.
It's a touch.
Said.
It's a touch of the tism, my lord. That's just like the way my brain works, I think, and I read a lot, and I've always read. I remember I kind of taught myself to read before I started school.
Cool.
Like watching Sesame Street in the electric company back in the day. And I remember because my parents were like, well, we're not going to let you skip grades or anything because, that's just not how you're supposed to do things back in the 70s.
Okay.
But I remember while the rest of my first grade class was reading and learning to read, the snake says S.
Sure.
I was in the back of the classroom. I remember it was the first time I'd read Tom Sawyer.
Wow.
Yeah.
In first grade?
In first grade, yeah. But so I've always read. And that was, I was a weird, nerdy, quiet kind of kid, and books were my friends. So, and it's still like that. I still read. I still consume.
Do you find yourself reading new things or like returning back to stuff you've read?
A little bit of both. Like there are certain books and series and things like that I come back every couple of years and read. Like Dune.
Okay.
I think Frank Herbert's Dune is one of the greatest stories of all time, and it's also a very cautionary story about the power of dictatorship.
Gotcha.
But it's a well-told story over like the 7-8 books that it's over.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Like, how many books?
Yeah, and like I did a reread of that. Like I'm not gonna lie, the pandemic was great for reading.
Certainly.
Yeah, like I reread that. I went back. I reread Stephen King's Gunslinger.
Okay, yeah, like the Tower
series.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
What else? And then it was just like other like I took it as an opportunity to kind of revisit old friends, right?
Yeah.
Reread the Lord of the Rings, rewatched the Lord of the Rings, full versions.
Yeah.
And then just like the little one-off books that I read and I reread, and like Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
I think that's just such a brilliant book. Things like that. So.
Gotcha. So a healthy mix of like fiction and nonfiction then. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know if it's like just a weird, as you get older, like nonfiction becomes cooler.
It definitely,
like history.
Totally agree. So I don't know if it is a fault on my behalf or it probably is, but I thought certain aspects of history were cool growing up.
Right.
But it wasn't until, I don't know, a few years ago, like I'm 30, so maybe like 5-6 years ago, I have this book over there. It's called The Reagan Era.
Okay.
And written by some professor, and I was reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh. A lot of the stuff in the 80s kind of impacted what happened in the early 2000s when I was a kid. And so I started to see some of the connective tissue. And then I'm by no means a history pro, but anytime I go, like I just read a book on Teddy Roosevelt and stuff, like it paints such a broader picture.
Right.
And it kind of helps you at least like appreciate why things are the way they are, where some of your thoughts come from.
Right.
You're just kind of like born and like you have these like opinions and you say these things where you're like, oh wow, that actually was a new opinion in the 1800s. No one had ever thought that way.
Yeah, and that's kind of like for like me, and like I go back to this podcast that I listen to all the time. I just think it's absolutely fascinating because he goes through like words in our language that are 2,000 years old. They were words that were in English or Germanic that predate the Romans taking over Britain, and they're still in our language in some form or other.
Yeah, that's some crazy longevity.
Yeah, and so again, it's like making those connections, and it's so weird. It's like kind of seeing your place in the world.
Yes, for sure.
And I think like connecting to history and stuff like that does that for you.
Yes, for sure. I definitely feel, I don't know, like a person in my time.
Right.
More so. Well, we're a little bit in, but do you mind introducing yourself real quick? So people know who they're listening to.
Yeah, I'm Dale.
What's up, Dale?
Dale Allen Crowley. I'm how do I like to say it? Like if I had business cards, writer, editor, poet, purveyor of general darkness and geekery.
Father and husband.
Yeah, father, husband. I'm a writer. I'm an academic. I do, I went to school. I have degrees in English literature. So
one of the reasons, besides being a fellow geek, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because last time you were in town, we started having this conversation about your contribution to sort of like Lovecraftian lore.
Yes.
And sort of placing it under the modernist category. Is this how you correct?
Yeah. So that was, so when I did my master's thesis, that was my argument that he should be looked at. So
who is H.P. Lovecraft?
So H.P. Lovecraft was a writer in the early part of the 20th century. He wrote essentially, he is considered, Stephen King once called him the father of modern horror.
Mm-hmm.
And all horror that we understand, like literature, all falls under the shadow of the work that H.P. Lovecraft did.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote at the time, they were called pulps. So
Yes.
they were the low product paper. You could get them at, any 5 and dime store or whatever. But he wrote stories about, monsters and horror stories and ghost stories and things like that. And so you see it in like Weird Tales or Amazing Stories
mm-hmm.
and things like that. And he was this quiet, bookish, very eccentric sort of guy from Providence, Rhode Island. But I mean, he had such a strong impact on horror.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, sort of like trying to reposition, because during his lifetime, he was not successful at all.
Okay.
Like he was published,
mm-hmm.
but you didn't get the respect.
Tough.
Because it was like writing comic books back in the day, right? Before comic books were considered art.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about like Frank Miller's,
yes.
Dark Knight,
yep.
or The Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
When those came out, it was like, okay, it can be this lower medium can be something better, something greater.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until like the 50s and 60s that people really started to understand, how influential his work was, or how good, and him. And he was a writer who, if you read his stuff and sent him a letter,
mm-hmm.
and we're like, hey, because that's what you did, that you'd write these long letters.
Yep.
If you wrote him and said, hey, I read this story and I love the story, mm-hmm. he would write back, and then you were a lifelong friend of this guy. It's estimated that he wrote over 100,000 letters in his lifetime. His correspondence was, and I think that was partly why his output wasn't as good as it could have been, because he was so busy writing letters but he established sort of this coterie of writers who went on to become huge writers, like Robert Bloch, who wrote Psycho.
Okay, yep.
He was a kid. He was like 16, 17 years old, and he wrote H.P. Lovecraft and said, I just read this story of yours and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And he encouraged him. He gave him writing advice. He did.
Oh, cool.
And then like other names like August Derleth, and probably one of the more well-known, he loves, the two of them were really good friends, was Robert Howard, who wrote the Conan stories.
Sweet. Yes.
And in fact, when
Conan fan.
Love Conan.
Uh-huh.
In the Conan stories, you'll find references to Lovecraftian works. You'll hear a reference to Cthulhu.
I can. My dad had maybe 9 or 10 of the Conan issues.
Yes.
Done by Marvel Comics.
Yes.
That he had kept, and I think he probably still has them. But I totally know what you mean, especially having just read
right.
your master's thesis, like some of the monsters, or just even some of the way that the stories are framed in a hopeless sort of sense.
Yeah, and it was like it was more than, like, if you look at like Gothic literature at that time, like you talk about like Mary Shelley,
mm-hmm.
Frankenstein,
yep.
or Bram Stoker's Dracula, or even going further back than that, when you talk about like Horace Walpole's, the first true Gothic novel, The Castle of Otranto, like to that period in time, horror was ghosts and spirits, but then Lovecraft came on the scene, and he started to write about these creatures that transcend time and space, and all these other stories. It was like man versus all these other things, and man is superior.
Mm. Like man overcoming the supernatural.
Exactly.
Through some sort of purity or whatever.
Purity, or just the spirit of, mankind or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He took this idea, and that's, so Cthulhu is his greatest creation. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Cthulhu, or Cthulhu. And actually, I have my Cthulhu tattoo.
Let's go. Is that the bust from the story?
This is, yes,
okay, cool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a copy of the bust.
Nice.
From the Call of Cthulhu. But so this idea that we're just ants, we're insignificant to these greater beings, and that's the horror.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there are things out there that we as humans in our arrogance, we think we can handle, you can't handle us. They'll cause madness, they'll cause death, they'll cause. So that was sort of his contribution.
So obviously I'm a Marvel guy, but my dad also had Tales to Astonish, Journey into the Mystery.
Yes.
And I remember reading some of those as a kid where it's just like a couple travelers on a mountain, find some sort of cave, there's some obscene sort of mysteries, and it drives them insane or disfigures them.
Right.
And then it ends.
Then it ends.
And then it ends.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like a little disturbed. And you're like,
Yeah, and that's...
They were great, but it was just like,
yeah, and
very
that's
unsettling.
so that's sort of like the definition of the genre in which they consider this. It's called weird fiction.
Right.
It's just this idea of it's unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Twilight Zone-esque.
Twilight Zone-esque, yes.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the Twilight Zone writers, when you think about Rod Serling or Charles Bowman, or I'm drawing a blank. Famous writer. I want to scream, but I have no mouth. Anyway,
mm-hmm.
A lot of them were Lovecraft. Like they discovered Lovecraft younger,
uh-huh.
or they'd read it in the pulps, and that stuck with them. Because you have to understand, like, okay, I could buy a copy of, Hemingway's book
mm-hmm.
for $2 at the time, which was probably a lot of money. I don't know, like just thinking it up. Or I can spend 5 cents and I can get this other collection of stories and I can read that. Will it last forever? No, but
so it's not bound.
It's not bound. It's like a comic book, right? But those were the things that the normal people read, and the normal people were the people that
That's what Lovecraft was writing for.
He was writing for, and that's sort of the thing. Like when you talk about academia, when you talk about higher education, or like the academy, it's just this idea of like the old white dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Who
like you're talking like the Oscars included, like the Academy people,
So they look at like, oh well, that's science fiction. That's mm-hmm. not that's not real
or
art.
Even horror.
Yeah,
horror gets snubbed like
they
crazy.
get snubbed like crazy. Like I was so happy Godzilla won.
Godzilla -1.
It won Academy Awards this year,
mm-hmm.
which
awesome.
I'm such a big Godzilla fan. But
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, you have? Oh, it's so good.
I've heard nothing but amazing things.
Godzilla -0 is
coming out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. I need to get it watched.
But yeah, just so it was like all these great writers. Harlan Ellison, that was the name I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay, nice. That actually came to you.
Yeah, so Harlan Ellison was a big fan, and it's so funny. I don't know, kind of a segue. So we live in Willoughby, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Harlan Ellison grew up in Painesville, which is 2 towns over.
Uh-huh.
So the Twilight Zone episode, Last Stop Willoughby, is based on the town that we live in.
Sweet.
And every year we have a Last Stop Willoughby festival.
Do you really?
Yeah, and I mean, it has, like, they talk about the Twilight Zone episode, and that's where it gets it from. But I mean, I just don't think that it's not literally. There's like a parade.
Okay,
they have an art festival where like peddlers come and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. General celebration.
But like. The idea that Harlan Ellison, who went on to become, he wrote Star Trek episodes,
cool,
and things like that, and Twilight Zone episodes, and some of the best like horror fiction of like the 60s and 70s.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, it's once you know what to look for, even in like stuff like Star Trek, especially like in the 60s stuff, some of the weird concepts or weird creatures.
Right.
Now, Star Trek's definitely more optimistic, where it's like the science fiction trope of like. Man will triumph.
Man will triumph, yeah.
But
Aspera ad Astra, right?
Yes, right, exactly. But like you definitely get like some of the weird creature or horror elements, like it's like it becomes a.
But yeah, and I mean that, like it's so funny. Like so, I came to Lovecraft, in like the weirdest way. It was through the role playing game Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah,
like
did that come out in the 80s?
That was in the 80s, so it came out like early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sitting in a health class, being quiet, reading. Probably, I think it was Lord of the Rings.
Let's go.
Again. And the kid sitting next to me was like, "Hey, you're a geek.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it because you're reading the Lord of the Rings." He's like, "Do you like geeky things?" I was like, "Yeah, I like geeky things." Mm-hmm. And he asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited because I was like, oh, I've never played. I mean, I had Dungeons. I bought it. I asked my parents for it for Christmas, and I had the box set. I didn't have anybody to play with.
Gotcha.
And so we talked a little bit more, and he was like, the more I talk to you, you seem like you're really kind of into horror and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I am. Because, I mean, I've been a fan of horror films and stuff since I was 5 or 6 years old. Mm-hmm. Like that part of my brain that should be scared.
Yeah.
And like when I watch movies, that's been broken since I was in, you know.
So like, you don't get scared, period, no matter what.
Not really. Like, I mean, I can think of a couple films that have like scared me, but I was younger.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you can't beat a good jump scare sometimes.
Sure, yeah, it's unavoidable.
But yeah, he was like, you're kind of into this horror thing. We have this other game. It's called Call of Cthulhu. And I was like, Call of what? And he's like, it's based on this writer from the 1920s. Here, check it out. And he gave me a copy of the book.
Okay.
And then so like that next weekend, it was a snowy Northern Ohio winter. Yeah. I went to my buddy's house, and he lived up in the attic, and we played this game. And it was like, I walked in, and it was like there were 3 other people at the table. It was my best friend Kurt, who I'm still friends with.
Let's go.
You know, my buddy Sean, who was like my college roommate, but we kind of drifted apart. And then Patience is transition. So Patience is their current name. I'm not going to dead.
Okay, gotcha.
And Patience was our game master. And like I walk in, it's this table, there's chips, we've got our characters, and there's candles. And I was like, oh, candles, I don't know about this, because it was the 80s. You'd hear all the stuff about satanic panic and stuff like that.
Yes.
But it was about setting the mood.
Of course.
It's a horror game.
Yes.
So we need a mood.
You got to do it. Uh-huh.
And that one afternoon, reading that story in that one afternoon sort of kicked off this lifelong obsession for me.
It's like a core pivotal memory.
Uh-huh. And that was what got me into it. And like when I went to college, I had professors who were like, yeah, Lovecraft is very genre, very niche. You're not going to get, if you want to become a PhD at a real university, you can. And I was like, well, first off, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But they say the same thing about Stephen King.
Oh.
Like, Stephen King is genre fiction. And if you're at, like, say, you know, a more well-known university, they're going to look down on that.
Huh.
I had somebody in my cohort when I was doing my master's who was a Tolkien. And her master's thesis was on Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. And she got the same sort of shit that I got about genre. And I'm like, first off, Tolkien was, you know, an Oxford professor of...
Like one of the greats.
Like, he translated... He was one of the first translators of Beowulf, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
And he wrote a paper about, like, Anglo-Saxon and everything else that they still read in linguistics class. It's like, here's the first paper you need to read.
I mean, Lord of the Rings is like the new Anglo myth.
It is. Like, yeah. I mean, every fantasy trope and everything about every fantasy book you read, you trace that right back to
It's like the high fantasy.
It is. It's like the Bible.
Yeah.
But she got sort of the same shit I did.
Huh.
So
that's wild.
But you know what? I don't care because, you know, there are several other scholars out there who have done the work and stuff like that. So
cool. You definitely can see Lovecraft's influence on Stephen King.
Yes.
Like especially with the weirder cosmic stuff,
and
even like the Tower stuff.
Yes. Yeah. He said that Salem's Lot was his Lovecraft story.
Yes.
So it was vampires, but vampires that aren't just the classic vampires. There was something otherworldly about them.
Absolutely.
And then that, of course, led into the Tower and stuff like that because, like, Father Callahan wound up in the Tower series.
Really? Okay, so I've read Salem's Lot. I have the first book of the Tower series, but I haven't read it yet, so I don't have the other book.
Yeah, so years later, in, like, the 5th or 6th book, you run into Father Callahan, and he's been taken from our world into the other world.
Oh, that's hype. That makes me want to reread Salem's Lot and just find a full trigger on the series.
And so a bunch of, like, the Tower series is sort of like the throughput, and all these other things touch on it. It's kind of crazy. I think I 50, 100 years from now, we're going to look back at Stephen King as probably one of the greatest writers of the 20th century.
I mean, I can see it. And I mean,
we're going to put him on a pedestal with like Hemingway.
Gotcha.
You know,
okay. The listen.
M.R. James, any of those, Virginia Woolf.
Gotcha. Anyway, I mean, Stephen King also has like volume to boast.
Yeah.
That is like crazy.
I will say, once he got sober, his writing suffered.
Who wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Hunter S. Thompson.
I mean, Hunter S. Thompson is known for his under the influence writing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, some people just like thrive.
They thrive, yeah.
Under the influence.
Yeah, like I just seeing Stephen King all coked out on his mind, just like, this will be great. The Shining.
Yeah, I've heard he doesn't remember writing Cujo.
Right. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I do too. But yeah, so.
I wanted to do something fun.
Okay.
And that because this was the first book I read to my firstborn daughter, June. And I wanted to read it.
Okay.
And one, test my pronunciation of some of these things, but two, get a brief explanation of what these things are.
Okay.
As we progress. Is that cool?
That works.
Okay. So
the book is?
Yes. Seeding for Cthulhu by Jason Ciaramella. The Lovecraft alphabet book.
And there's Lovecraft on the cover.
That's who that is right there?
It's Lovecraft,
okay,
yep, with his
Lovecraft
big chin.
And Necronomicon
in
hand. We've got a black goat, we've got Cthulhu. And I have a note to my daughter. The first book I ever read out loud to you, Love Dad. And that's
nice.
So, first one is A is for Abdul Al-Hazred. I wrote this little book.
Yes.
I do.
Very good. So okay. Abdul Al-Hazred is actually the author of Al-Azif, which is the Arabic pronunciation for the Necronomicon.
Book of the Dead.
The Book of the Dead.
Cool. Within Lovecraft.
Well, the Book of the Dead was different.
Okay.
Necronomicon was a book written by the Mad Arab, and from that, there's only fragments of it, and even just reading its pages, like Robert Chambers, the Yellow Sign screenplay, just reading it will drive you insane. Okay, cool. Because of the whispers of the beyond that are in it. It's so beyond. But Abdul Al-Hazred is the author of the Necronomicon.
Sweet. Okay. B is for the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. Bah.
So the black goat of the woods of 1,000 young is just another name for Nyarlathotep.
Okay.
Who takes several forms. But his most famous is either as the black goat of the woods, which is not a goat. It is actually like a large house-sized thing with many tentacles and many limbs.
Oh, no. Okay.
But he also sometimes takes the form of a human.
Okay.
And makes deals. And so he will be there to lead people down the path to madness. And to, oh, hey, here, I have, you're looking for this book of forbidden knowledge. I might have a cellar. And so you would meet with him, and he corrupts, and he corrupts everything he touches. Gotcha. So like madness and insanity sort of being the end game regardless. Yes, and he's known for being very dark skinned, very Middle Eastern looking. So yes, and well, I have a follow up for when we're done. Okay, yeah. About that. So C is for Cthulhu in his house at Relay. Okay. Red Cthulhu waits dreaming. Yes. So Cthulhu is asleep on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and he is always dreaming. And it is from the Necronomicon that we learn the famous couplet, "That is not dead which can eternal lie. Through strange eons, even death may die." He's talking about Cthulhu. He's so old, but he's sleeping. He's not alive, but he's dreaming. And occasionally he comes into a higher wakefulness, and it causes among the sensitive in the world, artists, people who have psychic, he can cause nightmares worldwide. Okay. Gotcha. Someday he will wake, Raleigh will come back, and he will ravage the earth and then move on. Awesome. D is for deep ones. What lives in Yahanithale under the sea? Yeah, that's best like I'm not entirely certain.
Okay. It's a little bit more guttural.
Yeah, most of the languages. So yeah, the deep ones are the spawn of Dagon.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
So Dagon is actually a real god in like the pantheon of like Babylonian.
Okay.
So he stole that, but it is a creature that lives under the sea, and it has the deep ones. The deep ones make deals with humans,
which I've just learned.
Yes,
in your paper.
They make deals with humans, and they bring them gold and fish, especially like in fishing towns and things like that, and people that live by the sea. But the catch is, you have to have relations with them to help them. That's the only way their species can continue. And so, in the story, The Shadow over Innsmouth, he made a deal with Captain Marsh, and the whole town is essentially turning into deep ones. Yes. They're growing tentacles, they're growing all these sort of things, and then they go back to the sea.
Cool. Which, spoilers for later in the book, that'll be relevant. E is for eldritch, ancient and weird.
So that is just eldritch is just, that's the definition, ancient and weird. It's one of his favorite words. He used eldritch a lot.
This might be a shot in the dark. Have you ever seen the anime Attack on Titan?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So good.
It's
good.
Incredible.
The last season, I think, flubbed it a little bit, but that happens with a lot of anime.
It's tough.
I think like the first couple seasons are always so good, and then
the first season was my personal favorite.
Oh my god, it's so good.
The third one I thought was also good, but or the second half of the third one.
Yeah,
but very good. But I was surprised at some point when they kind of do like the origin episode,
right?
And they just kind of explain the thing that is found as an eldritch creature. And I was like, oh, okay.
Eldritch, yeah. And it's an old word. It's actually a medieval, Middle English sort of word.
Okay.
But it just means old, ancient.
Did you ever see James Gunn's The Suicide Squad?
Yes.
Suicide Squad? Did you like it, first of all?
I did. I did. I think I liked it. David Dastelmish.
Yes, Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man. That actor is one of my favorite. Every time I see him in anything, I'm like, this is going to be good, and he's going to be amazing.
He's got a very cool backstory. He was like a former heroin
addict, and everything else. You see, he has a podcast where like he interviews his people that he both lay in coffins. And then so like they can't see each other, and he's asking them questions and stuff like that. And he's had some really famous people on. And like they're both just laying there in coffins, and they got the camera overhead.
Oh, I would so do that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But the reason I bring up Suicide Squad is because Starro gives big Eldritch vibes.
Yeah.
It's like very Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
They find a giant starfish in space.
Right. Yeah. And then it comes down. It's like, how do you beat that?
Right.
Yeah. But fortunately for Lovecraft's protagonists, they had magic. They had the Necronomicon, which had ways to bring them in, to summon and banish and stuff like that. Which you see in the Dunwich Horror, which is one of his stories where an abomination is summoned, and then they figure out how to send it away.
So there are some happy endings?
Yes. Okay. Happy endings in that the world is not consumed by an eldritch horror.
Yeah. No one's driven insane.
No, but those that are involved, generally, it never ends well for them.
Okay.
Their sanity, they're in insane asylums. They try to kill themselves just because it's too much to process.
Too much.
Yeah.
Okay. F is for fear, that cold feeling in your stomach. Is that a reference? Or is that just...
Yes. So the beginning of Call of Cthulhu begins with man's oldest emotion is... What was it? I have to think about it. Something about like man's oldest emotion. I'd have to look it up. Crap. Emotions are man's oldest sensation.
Okay.
But the oldest emotion for humans is fear.
Gotcha.
It's something like that. It's one of his famous lines.
True.
It is evolutionary true, and I know I'm completely butchering it because I'm on the spot.
Gotcha, but I get your point.
Yeah.
G is
man's oldest and strongest emotion is fear.
Bingo.
And man's oldest fear is the fear of the unknown. That's it.
Ah, okay.
There it is. Yes.
Yes. Totally true. G is for ghouls were so much worse than zombies.
Yes. So ghouls are creatures that live in graveyards and feed on dead and buried bodies.
Oh, okay.
But one of the main characters in his story, a guy named Edward Derby Pickman, or not Edward Pickman, Richard Pickton. He's an artist, and he paints these paintings that are of ghouls and things like that, and they're so horrifying and so realistic. It turns out that he has seen them.
Oh, okay.
And he eventually goes and joins them.
So, and he joins them but doesn't become them?
He joins and becomes
Okay,
them.
gotcha.
Or they eat him. It's never really, but he disappears. Richard Pickman. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It's called Pickman's Model because they would come up out of the sewer near his house, and he would draw them.
Okay, gotcha. Huh.
The story's called Pickman's Model.
Pickman's Model. H is for Hastur. Oh no, you said it. Did you say that?
Yes, Hastur. By saying his name, you draw the attention of Hastur.
And what does he do? Or it do?
So Hastur is he is a creature that is mentioned in before I mentioned Robert Chambers' story, The Yellow Sign.
Mm-hmm.
Hastur is who drove the writing of The Yellow Sign, which is a blasphemous play that was put on once, and everybody who performed in it and everybody who saw it went madly insane. If you read the play, it drives you insane.
Oh, okay.
So Hastur was directly lifted from Robert Chamber by.
Cool. So a little bit of like a
like homage.
Yes, an homage. Okay, gotcha. So this is what makes a lot more sense to me now.
Yes.
So I is for Innsmouth. The people here have a look about them.
Yep, the old Innsmouth look.
Mm-hmm.
They get wide eyes. Their heads get narrower. They start to get little gills in their neck.
They slowly become amphibious.
Yes.
And
croaking, hopping abominations.
Right. And so what's the story it's from?
Shadow over Innsmouth.
Okay. And so having read your thesis, the ending of the story just reminds me of kind of what we talked about earlier, those like Strange Tales Marvel books where like he escapes only to realize that he is from the same heritage and will soon succumb to the same fate. And it's just like you're screwed.
So so actually I have coming here in the next month or two. I presented at the last Lovecraft Necronomicon in Providence, so that would have been 2 years ago.
Okay.
I presented a paper there, and then it's going to be published in Lovecraftian Proceedings. It's about the Shadow over Innsmouth. Yeah. In 1923, Lovecraft visited Cleveland, Ohio.
Sweet.
And during the course of researching this, because I was like, there's things here that are cool. He was in Cleveland. And I read his letters and everything else, and I realized that no other researcher or academic had dug into that Cleveland trip as to how it relates to the Shadow over Innsmouth, which he wrote almost 13 years later. But one of the people he met there, I think, is who he based Olmsted, who's the narrator of Innsmouth, on.
In the book, or in the story from Toledo.
Yes.
Right?
Originally, so I did the research and I found, so all of his letters have been digitized. And like I said, hundreds of thousands of letters, right? I dug through everything that had to do with the Shadow over Innsmouth, and I found his original notes that he'd written on the back of a letter he'd received.
What?
Where he'd written out the genealogy of the narrator going back to Captain Marsh's liaison with one of the deep ones from Ythilene. And in that, he was originally supposed to be from Cleveland. Wow. And he had he changed it so he was from Toledo. And then they had the Cleveland branch of the family he mentions. But he mentions he has a cousin in a madhouse in Canton, Ohio.
Oh, cool.
Because in all of his books, and him and his friends, they always wrote each other into their stories.
Oh, sweet.
So I discovered that, and it is actually, I was the first person to find that. And so that's what my paper's about.
That's so cool. So you like actively contributed to
history,
literature, history of literature.
Yeah.
Whoa, cool, man.
So this one guy was actually from Akron, Canton. It's the same town. It's like two cities that are so close to each other that if you're from Cleveland, you say Akron, Canton.
Yes. Okay.
With my Cleveland accent, Canton.
Canton.
So, so the Innsmouth, I feel like that's become like I've written so much about it. I also just, I've been asked to write a chapter in a book about Western videos, and I wrote a thing about Dagon, which is basically a retelling of Innsmouth. It was a movie from 2001.
Oh, cool.
So that
the movie's called Dagon?
Called Dagon.
Nice.
And so that was basically just a reworking of Shadow over Innsmouth. So I just got done writing that.
Do you feel, I will continue, but do you feel like Lovecraft has begun or is getting the credit he deserves now?
He absolutely is. He's a household name. People know who Cthulhu is. People know what Lovecraft is. Now,
Lovecraft Country was a show.
Lovecraft Country was a show. A lot of people are like, Lovecraft, it means tentacles and octopuses. Tentacles was a thing, but it wasn't everything, Gotcha. So, but there is, he's gotten his own, he's gotten the credit he's deserved. Cool. I think. I feel like what he didn't get in his life, he's gotten. People, know and appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Very cool. J is for John Raymond Legrasse? Cultists. Why'd it have to be cultists?
So he was the inspector and detective in Louisiana in the Call of Cthulhu, who went into the woods and found a Cthulhu cult.
Gotcha.
And they wound up
voodoo,
human sacrifice, and it was just an awful, awful, terrible thing. And they found one of the Cthulhu idols there.
Right.
And cool. So he was the inspector who helped tell the story in Call of Cthulhu. Yeah.
Don't want to run into cultists. K is for Kinyan. Is it hot down here, or am I crazy?
Which is it? Kinyan. Hot down here, or am I crazy? That is probably a reference to the Shadow Out of Time.
Oh, okay.
Which an investigator goes to the outback of Australia to go through a ancient ruin that's found in an archaeological site, and he ends up being chased by creatures, but
Gotcha.
Probably reference to the Eat.
Okay, cool. L is for Lovecraft, HP, if you will, which it looks like he's got some of his
yes, sitting in his chair
back there. Is he known for a special chair?
Yes, he was very much about, just his very comfortable chair where he would hold court with his friends. And,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
M is for Miskatonic University, sculpting young minds since 1770.
So Miskatonic University is the world-famous university in the Lovecraftian world, in what they call Lovecraft Country.
Okay, yeah.
So he made up Innsmouth. Yes. He made up Miskatonic, which is in the town of Arkham.
Yes,
Massachusetts. Arkham, Massachusetts, which is Arkham Asylum, which is where they got it from Batman.
Right.
But Miskatonic University is based on Brown University.
I saw it in your page.
So I
wondered if the Arkham thing was pulled from...
Yes, it absolutely was. Okay, cool. Madness.
Yeah, right, duh.
Yeah. And it was
obviously.
So Miskatonic University, and he lived on College Hill in Providence right now, every day. He walked through Brown University campus. It was right there. And so he based it on Brown University.
It seems like he was in love with Providence.
Providence was, he absolutely, his tombstone actually says, "I am Providence."
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. I think that is referenced in this book.
Okay, yes.
That makes sense.
It was after he left New York. So he lived in New York for 2 years. He was married, and he got divorced. Well, he never actually divorced. They just stopped. She moved away. But he lived 2 years in New York and absolutely hated every bit of it. And then when he was coming home on the train, he saw Providence on the hill, and he wrote this big long thing. And he said it was like the shining beacon on the hill. I am home. I am Providence, and then that was put on his tombstone.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And as for Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead.
The Book of the Dead. Yep. Necronomicon.
Sweet.
Al-Azif.
Is that another name for it?
That's another name for it. And there are several copies of it. A Latin version and a English version.
In the lore.
In the lore, and there's like 6 known copies in the world.
Okay.
Although, and I've been thinking about writing a paper on this. There's like 5 or 6 known copies, and we know exactly where all of them are. But boy, does it show up a lot in his other stories in people's private libraries. So sort of trying to trace, okay, we know there's 5, and that's sort of the throughput, but I'm like, there's more than, you know.
Maybe there's like some bootleg copies.
Yeah, bootleg copies. Like, yeah, it's like, look, there's only 5 copies left in the world. It's like, well, according to Lovecraft, but, you know, you don't need to be consistent in your own writing. You can just, you know, have it show up somewhere. But,
yeah, right.
But like just the idea of tracing the different versions through his stories.
For the super fans who are like coming over. Yeah. Listen, if there's one thing that bothers me is when a story breaks its own canon. Right. So otherwise it's like.
Yeah. And that's kind of what he did. But I mean, I think he was kind of loosey-goosey with it. He was just it's part of the plot.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you know,
this is what's happening.
Yeah, but it's like it just keeps showing up. Like, you know, there's, you know, in the festival, which is one of his stories, there's a copy of it. In a bunch of his other stories, you know, like the picture in the house, there's a copy there. You know, so it's kind of crazy. Anyway,
maybe there are only 5, but it can just appear to you.
Right, there you go. Yeah. Well, you only get to read 1 because it'll drive you insane otherwise.
Right, it's a one and done. O is for old ones. These things look wicked old.
So yeah, so that was just sort of the general name he used for all of these
like Cthulhu,
beings out of time and space. Cthulhu, you know, Azathoth, Nyarlathotep, all of those were the old ones. Gotcha. Now, after he died, all of his works were given to August Derleth, who he's kind of a controversial figure in Lovecraft circles because he was responsible for keeping Lovecraft's works out there. Okay. He founded Arkham House, which published his stories, sold his stories again and again to like amazing stories. So you'd see them in print again in the 40s and 50s and things like that. However, Derleth also was like, he would find a fragment in a letter. He'd be like, you know, where he'd say, I had this dream about, these black pillars in a wood, ancient black pillars in a wood, and the sound of whippoorwills. And so Derleth would write a whole story and that became like the Lurking Fear. But it's H.P. Lovecraft's Lurking Fear with help by August Derleth.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
almost like The Conjuring based on a true story.
Yeah. But he would write these whole stories and say, oh yeah, this is H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, okay.
When it was just him.
Taking the name.
But the other thing is he was very Catholic.
Oh, okay. And would his stories come off Catholic coded?
Well, the old ones, Lovecraft was an atheist.
That's
in the 1920s and 1930s, that's crazy.
To be like a public atheist.
And he was like a public atheist and a rationalist. And that was where his things came from. It's like religion doesn't matter because that's made up by humans. Cthulhu doesn't care about religion. Humans will worship Cthulhu for power and everything else, but Catholicism, Judaism, all those, they're made up human sort of things.
Gotcha, yeah.
Derleth was super Catholic, and he had trouble with that. And so he came up with this idea, so you had the old ones, who were like Cthulhu and those, and then he started to write all his own stories, and he came up with the great ones.
That were were they good?
They had a battle between good and evil who fought one another. And the reason the old ones have been banished is because the greater good, the angels, have beat the devils.
The war of the angels and demons.
So it's very Catholic coded.
Yeah.
And that has caused a lot, like in a lot of people's minds, like reading this, they think, oh, we've got the great ones, we've got the old ones, we've got the great old, you know, what is happening here? The old ones are the old ones that shall ever be, which is what Lovecraft wrote.
Gotcha.
And that didn't work.
Okay.
For Derleth.
So, because like Lovecraft's world, and I only know this because I just read your thing, but there's like the Earth plane, there's the greater cosmic plane, and then there's like an underworld. Right. There's no like benevolent beings. It's just like things we don't understand, and then like
where we are,
demonic things.
Everything else is awful.
Right. And the awful
it wants to eat you.
Yeah. And to your point, like, prayers mean nothing to these things. You might think they mean something, and then they just consume your mind.
Right, exactly.
Or eat you. Or
you know, like you see, like, you know, violation. Movies where, like, they summon a creature, and, it, like, I always think Del Toro's Hellboy.
Yeah.
Where they summon that creature, and then it immediately turns around and eats Rasputin, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I love Hellboy. Well, so much for your religion and your devotion, because it doesn't care. You know? Yeah. Which, by the way, the end of that movie, to that point in time, where you've got the thing coming down.
Yes.
That was probably the best representation of Lovecraftian that I had ever seen to that point. There have been some other movies and stuff since then that I think have done a really good job, but that whole scene where he's fighting the creature in the thing, that's very Lovecraftian. And that whatever it is trying to break in from the outside, so Lovecraftian. Like so much so it gave me chills because I was like, that's what Lovecraft saw.
Movie, but it's disturbing.
It's so good. I read the comics too.
Okay,
I'm such a Mignola fan.
Gotcha.
You know,
I think this is such a tangent now, but such a bummer we never got a Hellboy 3.
I know. I'm not complaining about the other Hellboy movies they've done.
I haven't seen the one with what's his
Hopper, David Harbour. Yes, it's good.
Yeah,
I like it. It's not Ron Perlman.
Sure.
You know, so it's sort of like
his Hellboy's so good.
So good. Like that's what you think of. It was the first one. The last one they just did, which was a true horror movie.
It was like not Slender Man.
It was
but it was like a thinner Hellboy design.
He was younger Hellboy, and another thing, and what was it called? The Skinny Man,
something like that,
the Crackling Man, or something like that.
But it was good.
It was good.
Okay.
As a straight up horror movie, it absolutely, and you know, it's still, you know, Hellboy, and I dig it.
Cool.
I think the David Harbour one was better than that one.
Okay.
But the other one, that one was pure horror. Whereas the David Harbour one tried to kind of remake the feel.
Okay.
Of like Del Toro's
the Toro aesthetic.
That aesthetic. So really good. I highly recommend them across the board.
Yeah, the whole troll market in Hellboy 2.
Oh my god,
is
right?
Just like the pinnacle of like Del Toro weirdness.
Del Toro weirdness, or the Tooth Fairies.
Yes, the Tooth Fairies are great.
I know. You know, I think Del Toro, because he's wanted to do At the Mountains of Madness.
Oh, really?
Which is Lovecraft's like novel length.
Cool.
He has wanted to do it. Nobody will finance it. Nobody can do it.
Oh, tough.
He's wanted to do one for years. He even was like actively campaigning for it, like prior to the pandemic, and he just could not find anybody who wanted to produce it because he wants to do a big budget Lovecraftian movie, and that's the movie he wants.
I think it'd be cool.
I think it would be so good because he gets it.
I think what's your opinion of Frankenstein?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. I won't say anything.
Yeah, no, I've got to see it. It's on my list.
Yeah. Cool gothic stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
P is for Providence. I am Providence.
I am Providence. That's him. Yep.
Peeking around the building there. Okay. I never know how to say this one. Q is for Kithaz. Don't worry, she doesn't bite. Some sort of gem.
Kithaz.
Crystalline creature.
Yeah. Kithaz. I'm not sure what that's from. That might be another writer, and they pulled a Q because there have been so many other writers that have added to Lovecraft's pantheon and Lovecraft's fictional world.
Gotcha. Some sneak in there.
Yeah.
R's for relay, travel packages start the low price of your sanity.
Yep, that's where Cthulhu sleeps. Yep, at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
S is for Shoggoth.
Shoggoth. That's from At the Mountains of Madness.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. Burp.
So, yeah. So, the great star race of Yith came to Earth millennia before humans did, were born or thought of, right? They settled, they covered most of the Earth, and they built Cyclopean cities and things like that. And they did it because they were also scientists.
What makes a city Cyclopean?
Just because of their size and they're non-human proportions.
Okay. I got you.
They're ridiculously large compared. Like, so like you're walking through and there's a door that's as big as, like a train tunnel.
Okay, sure.
Because you're dealing with things that aren't human.
Gotcha.
Or of human scale.
Solid.
But they're scientists, so they created the Shoggoths.
Mm-hmm.
There are these protoplasmic things that can take the shape of anything to build, to move, and they became the slaves.
Oh, tough.
But eventually the Shoggoth rose up and destroyed the Great Sauron.
Dang.
And their final city was in the Antarctic. And that's what the Mountains of Madness is they discover it. And they realize that,
it looks like there's like some ice in the background.
Yes. And actually, the Shoggoths started to not listen as well. And so they created other things. And they created these awful primate sort of things that eventually became humanity.
Ah, tough.
But at the Mountains of Madness it's a 1932 expedition to Antarctica, and they find a city, the last of the cities, and realize that, there's still some Shoggoths alive, and they kill
the expedition crew?
Members of the expedition, yeah. Which, interestingly enough, I think that story, there's a through line from that story. So you've got a protoplasmic being covered in eyes and that can become the shape of anything, to John Campbell's Who Goes There, which became The Thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, The Thing is like one of the ultimate disturbing creatures.
Yes. So one of both the 1951 version and then John Carpenter's, I think, two of my favorite movies in the world.
Oh, cool. Nice.
But I think that there's definitely a throughput of Who Goes There, going back to Lovecraft's Mountains of Madness.
Yeah, well, I mean, the creature itself is just, it's anything.
It's anything. It becomes anything. It becomes the dog. It becomes...
Right. And it's gross.
Yeah.
I just saw The Fly for the first time.
Oh, so good.
It was great. I had a blast.
Run the Fly.
Yes. And I finally understood the Rick and Morty reference in the episode where everyone becomes Cronenbergs.
Yes.
Named after the director. And then you see what I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. But even that movie, like, while it's obvious he is turning into a fly, just sort of the grotesque imagery.
Right. Connect this over.
Where it just sort of blends, like the human and the imagery is just disgusting to look at.
Yeah, it was such a good movie, and it was Jeff Goldblum being the Jeff Goldblum is
just crushed, doing like gymnastics in his apartment.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah, they showed it at the Grandview Theater. They sometimes show old movies, so I got to see it.
Oh, that's great.
It was because they showed previews for movies that would have been coming out. So they had like Return of the Jedi as a preview. And like some other stuff. I'm like, oh, this is like
that's awesome.
Yeah, I need to come see more old movies.
Yeah,
that I haven't seen.
It's like an Alamo Theater.
Yeah. Yes. T is for the Tiara of Dagon, who wants to play princess.
Yes. So that again shadows over Innsmouth, the weird jewelry.
Okay, right.
That sometimes fits humans and for some reason seems to fit heads that aren't human.
Like that are more elliptical?
Yes. To fit big Innsmouth look heads. Things like that. Right.
U is for the unnameable. Unnameable, yes. Unlovable, no.
So yeah, the unnameable is a story. It's called The Unnameable. There have been a couple movies, but it doesn't capture. It's basically two guys sitting in a cemetery talking about how something can be nameable or unnameable in terms of horror.
Oh.
And one of them ends up getting killed by a creature in an old haunted house.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
he's killed by the unnameable.
Right. V is for the vigilant, sure to be the voyage of a lifetime.
Vigilant is one of the ships from Mountains of Madness.
Okay.
That they took down.
Okay. W is for the witch house. We have a small rodent problem.
So Dreams in the Witch House, one of his other more popular stories. Basically, a student at Miskatonic University rents a room in this house, and he's studying non-Euclidean math and geometry. And the story, it's kind of interesting because he starts to see and hear things, and he thinks he's losing his mind, but it turns out there's an old witch in the house.
Oh.
And she brings people in to suck the life out of them. And you also, from that, you get he's pursued by her familiar, which is called Brown Jenkin,
okay.
which is a rat with a humanish face.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, Brown Jenkin.
Interesting. Oh, wait, there he is.
Oh, yeah, there he is, Brown Jenkin. Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. Nice. Oh, okay. X is for Exurn? Is that like, or Zurn? Is that like a Xerox?
Zurn, penny for your soul. So that's from the Dreamlands.
Okay.
So he wrote 3 stories based on what's called the Dreamlands. He had it whenever he would dream, he said that he had entire worlds that he saw.
Mm.
It's kind of funny because like they feel like, you know, when he wrote about the Dreamlands, and the main character Randolph Carter was a dream traveler, and so it would be his adventures in the Dreamlands.
Oh, cool, nice.
And so that was just something he ran into in the Dreamlands. I
assume he would steal your soul.
Yeah,
more than likely.
More than likely, yeah. If you're not careful.
Y is for Yog Sothoth.
Yog Sothoth.
Yog Sothoth. I see all just like Santa.
Yes, so like it's Santa. A floating, massive eyes.
And this, I think, is the creepiest looking one.
Yeah, it's just like a protoplasmic, and like the eyes are all opening and closing at the same time. Very Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
Zadok Allen?
Z is for zombies.
Zombies.
Whoa. What did the ghouls say? The ghouls said they were worse than zombies.
That's right.
So what's up with the zombies?
So no real zombies in his stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the horrors, like the ghouls were. Well, okay, maybe. There is one story he wrote where it talks about this guy. He talks about, I was raised in darkness. My whole life I was alone. I had nobody. And what he does is he lives in this world of darkness and fungus underneath everything.
Oh.
And eventually one day he finds an old church. And it's got a ladder that goes up, and he climbs and he climbs and he climbs. And he realizes that what he thought was the night sky was a dome, or like the earth.
Oh.
And so he comes out in a crypt in a graveyard. And he wanders to a house where he sees lights on and there's a party. And he comes in the house and everybody screams and runs and everything else. And he comes around a corner and he sees a rotting, decaying, probably zombie. And he runs and he goes and he runs screaming. And he goes back down onto the ground, and then he realizes that it was a mirror.
That's great.
Yeah.
So he was almost like Truman showed to the fact that he's a zombie.
Yeah, he didn't know. He lived in this world, and he didn't remember his earlier life. He just knew he'd always been there. And
wow.
Amidst the decay and yeah.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah. He was a master. It was really good. There's some great stories.
One thing you had mentioned earlier, and this is like a bit of a tangent from, or this is a little bit separate from Lovecraft, but you had brought up that you had reread Dune recently, or not recently, but recently enough. But you're also a Tolkien fan.
Yes.
And I've learned that I think Tolkien was not a big Dune guy.
No. Frank Herbert and him. I think I remember reading something about it. Like, I feel like Tolkien felt it was pretentious.
Interesting. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Not that I think Lord of the Rings is pretentious, but it's like he's such a high-minded guy.
What's crazy to me is like Tolkien and like Lewis Carroll were like best friends.
And what did Lewis Carroll do?
He wrote like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, talk about something that's the opposite of Tolkien.
No, I'm sorry. That not Alice. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, T.S. Eliot.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not T.S. Eliot. Anyway.
Who am I blanking? Who wrote Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe though? Why
am I blanking too? But Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, very Christian. Super. Very, and it's
Aslan is Jesus.
Aslan is Jesus. Yeah, it's but Tolkien was much more like, if he had a religion, it might have been like Anglo-Saxon German paganist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could just imagine the two of them having arguments at Oxford.
Gotcha.
Like, I think they like had adjoining offices,
Oh, cool.
and like they became friends, and like I could see the two of them arguing.
Okay.
But yeah, like Frank Herbert. But it was also, I think, there was probably a little bit of the, because it's high science fiction, right?
Well,
like Dune is, 30,000 years from now is when it happens.
It's basically unrecognizable. It's like a clean slate.
Yeah.
Even though it is technically Earth, right, in the future.
Earth has colonized the galaxy.
Yes.
Yeah, who knows what happened to old Earth, right?
Sure.
But I think that's probably, I could see them having some. But I mean, I could probably see like Robert Heinlein fighting with Tolkien too. Like, Tolkien was just such a traditionalist.
Yeah.
And he also, I think, probably, because like all of like Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion and all that is all based on early, Norse and Anglo-Saxon like pantheons of gods and characters and languages and things like that.
Yeah. Well, Elvish, Tolkien made up. Well, not made up like there isn't any sort of reference, but he wrote an entire.
Made his own language.
Yeah.
Like he was one of the first people to ever do that. Like now, there's entire like Klingon.
Yes.
And like Valerian from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And you have these people that are like specialists in creating languages.
Yes.
But like he was like the first one to be like, okay, we're creating language.
So cool.
And I mean, he was just like a lot of writers from early in the 20th century. It's funny to me that like how he sort of codes things, like Dwarven, the few words of Dwarvish that we get, feel very Semitic, like
okay,
sort of guttural, like Yiddish, or and then of course you think about that with the Hobbit and the Arkenstone, and suddenly everybody's like, well, no, we can't give up the Arkenstone. All right, so obviously there's something happening there.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Do you like the Hobbit movies?
The Hobbit movies. Oh, that's an interesting question.
I think there's some really good stuff, but
I do too.
But it's just like 3 movies long.
It's 3 movies, yeah. Absolutely not. Did not need to be that long. I don't think it's as good as The Lord of the Rings. I think the Lord of the Rings to me is amazing. It still holds up. Like, think about a movie that's it's like 20 years old now.
I don't know if there's been anything made that is as good as Lord of the Rings since it's come out.
No, I
don't know if I can put my finger on something.
Like, and I go back and I watch it and I'm like, it's just so good. There are things that Jackson left out, like the retaking of the Shire.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people complain about Tom Bombadil. I find Tom Bombadil annoying.
So I read the first Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship, in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stand it because it's not in the movie. So when I got there, I was like, what is this?
What is this?
When am I
but I
mean, stuff I care
he
about?
saves them from the barrow, right? Which is where he technically gets Sting.
Yes. Oh, no. When I read The Fellowship, the last time I read it was a couple years ago, I absolutely enjoyed it. Because I knew it was coming. So I was like, okay, now I can appreciate it.
Or like the fact that it's so funny, like in the beginning, so this is the One Ring. And then like Gandalf just goes and fucks off for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, it's way like
it's like such like
you don't know how long
you don't realize that, and then
that research takes a long time.
Frodo goes through the whole we're gonna move to another Shire to hide the fact that we're gonna change our name and like it's like Gandalf's off doing his thing for like 20 years. It's like so crazy to me.
So long.
But they don't mention that. It's like it's just over a matter of a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, and then Gandalf tells the story. It's like, I was hanging out with this guy Strider, and we did all these things with Golem, and it's like this whole chapter where like he kind of like, oh my gosh, like,
Well, you did see, so like probably the ultimate Tolkien nerd is what's his face from the Late Show, Stephen Colbert.
Yes,
you see he's writing a new one, and it is essentially supposed to take place like 15 or 20 years after Return of the King.
Oh, okay.
Which, for me, my hope is that means we can bring in, Elijah Wood and Sean Astin because they're older.
Yeah. It
would be great. And I think if anybody, because he is such, his knowledge of it and everything else.
Oh, it's encyclopedic. He has a small cameo in Desolation of Smog.
He does, yes.
As one of the river townspeople.
River folk, yeah. I loved it. I think of them, when we go back to The Hobbit, I think Bumblecratch, Candersnatch,
Benedict
Cumberbatch, Blueberry Crumbleberry. I think that him as Smog, that was
so good,
amazing. Like, I think he got jilted out of like a supporting or something for that.
Oh, I think it's so good.
He was so good, and like I remember seeing it in a theater that had like a new sound system in it, and
Barrel Rider. His voice is just magnetic.
Just that, and that low bassy roar, so it was so good. But and then like some of the CGI in it, like the stuff with Legolas,
is so weird.
Like the whole where he hops, he grabs the front of that horse's neck and goes up and over. Like it just doesn't match fit. Like how's the physics of that?
The physics are weird.
Or the running on the
in the third one when he's like, it's like a video game essentially,
right?
And it looks like it.
Like in the Lord of the Rings, where they're trying to climb the mountain pass and he's just walking on top of the snow.
Perfect.
You're not driving it in, but the fact of the matter is that the elves are different.
Yes.
But you get to this other one and it just became,
he's like an Avenger tier, like
exactly, yeah,
like superhuman who's just like unbeatable.
Yeah, but like
it was fun to watch. But
it was fun to watch, but it just I don't think it was good. I think casting was okay.
What's his face as Bilbo? I think is great.
Yes. Martin Freeman.
Yes.
What's his face from the Marvel movies too?
Yes. I can't remember his character's name.
Yeah,
he's in the Black Panther ones.
Black Panther, and a couple of the other ones. Sort of he
Everett
became
Ross.
He became the replacement for what's his face from the first Avengers who got killed by Loki.
Coulson.
Yeah, Coulson. He became the new Coulson.
That's a good point. I never thought of it like
that.
Yeah,
he's like the new Coulson.
He really is. That's a good point. That's a very good point. On a like more scholastic note, what drives you to want to like contribute in the way that you have and like devote so much time and effort into combing through his works and stuff?
Again, I think like my specific brand of neurospiciness. It's so funny, like like I said, I was a reader my whole life, but I've also been a writer my whole life.
Have you written a book?
I have written a couple books.
I did not know that about you until I was doing some Googling.
Yeah, and I usually write under so everybody knows me as Dale, but I write under D. Allen.
Okay.
So that goes back to like when I was in college. My dad was Dale, so I'm named after my dad. I'm a junior. And it's just like with my family, my dad's passed away now. He's been gone for like 7-8 years, but it was always Big Dale, Little Dale. I'm still Little Dale.
Okay, gotcha.
To everybody. And it was like I went away to college and I did that, sort of that pretentious look at I'm not my father.
Sure, still.
Everything else.
Yeah,
I'm
my own person.
I'm my own person, and so I started using my middle name, Alan. And then when I started writing, so like I said, I've been writing since I was young. Like 5th, 6th grade, I started writing short stories and things like that. In junior high school, going into high school, I won like the Scholastic books.
Yes.
I won a writing contest.
Sweet.
That was my first published story.
Right on.
Going into that, and then I had a couple like stories published like in high school and in college and like small zines and stuff like that. And then I wrote my first novel in like 2009, I think.
Oh, okay.
No, it had been sooner than that. 99 maybe. But
1999?
No, I think it was 2009. No, I think it was 2009.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it.
Nice.
But I wrote my first novel, and it's actually not horror. It's sort of like a coming of age story for a group of friends in Cleveland who grew up in the Gothic subculture.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny. I got in a lot of trouble with a bunch of my friends because sort of the realization of if you know a writer, you're going to show up in their work in some way or somehow.
Yes.
Or things that you said or done, I will remember things like that. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's going to get used. And that book was a lot of that.
Cool. So your friends will see themselves in that book? Yeah.
And I had like a couple friends that were kind of mad about
it. Oh. Gotcha.
But then I wrote my second book, and it was A Darkness Within, which was pure horror.
Sweet.
About a virus that escapes that devolves men. It attacks men only.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And basically...
And regresses them?
Oh. It makes their skin fall off.
Oh.
And it basically turns them into like hypersexed. Because it just goes back to their baser instincts. It's like eat, breed... just like a baser. Yeah. Yeah. And so I wrote that one. And so that's like the closest I've ever come to like a zombie story. Because they were supposed to be like a stand-in for zombies.
Okay, I got you.
Scary zombies. And that one. And then obviously I've had like papers published and short stories published since then. And
Where can people get your books?
Amazon.
Sweet.
Yep. Amazon. I always send people to Amazon because I have digital copies out there that are like 99 cents if you have a Kindle, because I'd rather people read my stuff than, make a lot of money on it. Because, I'm never going to be Stephen King.
Gotcha.
Where I can buy huge houses in Bangor with crazy bat wrought iron gates and stuff like that. So,
who needs it?
Yeah, right? But yeah, so...
You've got a sweet bar.
Yeah. I don't remember where the question was before that. We were talking about... just like... what drives me to do the research and stuff like that. Like I said, I think that's just kind of the way I'm wired. It's funny. I'm not like arrogant. I think I'm very humble. I'm a very quiet person. I'm a super introverted person. But I do know like the one thing I am good at is writing, and I will tell people like if nothing else. I think I was a good parent. I'm a good husband, but I'm an exceptional writer.
Cool.
And it's like the only thing that I'm like, this is my thing. This is what I do. And part of that is I love the challenge of writing and making arguments and the rhetorical.
Oh, okay.
So here's this thing.
You're a good debater?
No, I think being an introvert.
Sure.
I'm really good for like afterwards saying, "Oh, I should have fucking said that."
Sure.
Like I'll go back and I'll replay it. I'm like, I should have done this. Here's the argument I should have made. Very cerebral, right? But yeah, just the idea that the experts say this, and that's what I love about like argument, like analytical academic writing is it's like, look at. The experts say this, and they say this, and they say this. They may have their point, but I think something different, and let me tell you why.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like how you write an academic paper, right? Yeah. And I think that like with the one with the Shadow of Innsmouth, like they've always said, it's sort of based on these previous stories and like an H.G. Wells story and everything else. And I was like, no. The roots of the story took place in Cleveland. And here's how.
Cool.
So that I think that's what drives me. Like I said, I'm never going to make a lot of money on my writing, and I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with it. I write in my corporate job, so I have a corporate job. I work for a major insurance company, and I'm a writer and editor there.
Gotcha.
I do internal communications and things like that, so I get to write every day.
Yeah. Does it scratch that itch?
It sometimes it's just straight editing.
Sure.
I don't get to do creative stuff. And that's sort of the other part of why I still write academic stuff and why I still write short stories and stuff like that is because that helps me. I always think of Isaac Asimov. Like every other author, he gets asked that question, where do you get your ideas from? And I think he had the best answer when he basically said, what I do is I get up in the morning and I go downstairs to my typewriter and I write what the voices in my head scream at me. Mm-hmm. And when they stop screaming as loudly, I'll stop writing.
Gotcha.
And I think that's part of it. Like, yeah. I'm always looking for stories. Like, I'm the kind of person, like, again, my son, he's really extroverted. He can walk into a room with 20 people and walk out with 20 friends.
Yeah.
He was like my dad like that. Me, I can walk in a room with 20 people and I'll walk out and I'll know anything about them. But I will have looked at every one of those people and made up a story about who they are and what they do in my head. You know,
you have like a fictionalized version of them.
Fictionalized version of them. Yeah, like, you know, you're at a restaurant, you're eating a sandwich, there's a guy sitting at a table nearby, and it's just an older guy and he's by himself. I'm like, oh, well, see, his wife passed away. He's living by himself. His son and him are estranged.
Oh, that's great.
Because his son doesn't understand him. You know, so it's like I'm always writing in my head. So
cool. You know, it's funny because the only reason I know you is because our families are joined.
Yes.
And I only ever see you in familial environments.
Yeah.
So I don't know you as an introvert because when I've been with you, your son and daughter are there. My sister-in-law, Michaela's there. And the conversation is just always flowing.
It's that, like, that comfort of familiarity.
And I just see whenever, like, I've been with you and Connor, you guys are so similar. So to hear that he's an extrovert and you're not is like new to me.
Yeah, it's but Michelle, my wife, makes fun of me because I would go before I met her, and I still kind of like I'd go to the movies by myself, or I would be like, she's like, oh, I've got book club tonight, so you got to fend for yourself. And she come home, she's like, what did you do? I said, well, I went up to like BW3 and I took my Kindle with me and I sat and I read. And she's like, you went to the restaurant by yourself? That's so sad. I'm like, no, it was awesome. That was me time. I don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I can focus on I could read.
It's like a recharge.
Yeah, it's very recharging for me. But yeah, I'm you know, like they have what's the label? It's introverted extrovert. Mm-hmm. Like I can turn it on. I can code shift.
Okay, I get code shift. Yes, right.
You know, it helps if I have a beer or two.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I can code shift like at work and stuff like that. I can code shift but my default setting is I'm the quiet, bookish kid in the corner, and I always had been and always will be. Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I get a drink here.
Yeah, please. We'll probably want to wrap it up here because I wanted us to be around for some form of dinner. Final question.
Okay.
I know that you're a big writer and you create stories in your mind. What do you feel like is the importance of stories in society?
I think stories are a fundamental part of humanity. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's sort of trite to say, you know, like you think about, you know, prehistoric, like Neolithic people sitting around in a cave telling stories around a fire. Mm-hmm.
Having no concept of anything.
Can't
explain the world.
But then, you know, like sort of like when you consider like the breadth of like literature or storytelling and stuff like that, I think it's part of like the fundamental human nature to want to tell stories. Mm-hmm. I think that it's unique to humanity as a species that, you know, in addition to sort of relating stories that have already happened, we can make up stories too. Mm-hmm. You know, just that amazing creative spark that, you know, people have. And it is, I think storytelling is an art. I think it is, you know, it is just as much an art as somebody who can paint or somebody who can make music or things like that. And there's always a need for people to tell stories, and stories are essential to what we are as humans. Mm-hmm. You know, from both a creative and I don't know, just like an emotional, like soul sort of.
Yeah.
And I know that's very like almost aspirational, I think, but I think it's just, like stories make us who we are.
I couldn't agree more. I was the kid reading Harry Potter in school, and when my teacher would come by, I shove it back in my desk.
Yeah. I was like with a flashlight. I was supposed to go to bed.
Yes.
You know?
Parents would come up. You'd like put the book under and like
I go through. I literally will go through, like, if I finish a really good book or a really good series, I'm sad.
Yes.
Because I felt like I've made friends in the story. Yeah. Like,
I remember watching the season finale of season 3 of Game of Thrones for the first time.
Yes.
And at the end, they pick up Khaleesi and they're holding all the freed slaves are holding her. They're chanting Misa, Misa. It ended and we only had season 3, and I didn't know it was like 8:45 or something p.m. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
I can't go to bed because I'm so geeked, but that was the best part of my day, and nothing I can do to follow will compare. I loved it so much,
right?
That I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, or like,
what do I do now?
You see a really great movie and it sticks with you for days. Like,
like it's 4 days later, like, hey, I'm still like,
that movie was so good. Yeah, like it was almost consuming. Or like, I'm also famous for, so I'm a night person. Okay. Like, Michelle is up at like the ass crack of dawn.
Yeah, that's me.
And it's so weird. It's very American, right? Like this idea that early bird gets the worm, and if you sleep in, there's something. It took a very not insignificant part of my life to realize I am not a morning person,
and to just come to terms with that.
I've come to terms with that.
Yeah.
I go into work at 9:00. Mm-hmm. I get up at 10 to 9 to go to work because I just walk downstairs and turn on my computer.
Okay, sure.
But I am up till 2 a.m.
Okay.
2, sometimes 3 a.m. And my wife talks about she loves in the morning. Like, she gets up, she makes the coffee, the house is quiet, she has the time to herself. I'm like,
same thing.
That's for me at the other end.
Yeah.
And but what I find I do when I'm reading sometimes is I'm like, oh Jesus, this is so good. Let me just read one more chapter.
Yep.
Let me read one more chapter. And then it's like, well, I guess I'm not sleeping tonight.
Yeah. I just
or you hear the birds outside of the window and you're like, damn it.
Yeah. So relatable.
So we never got to talk about Marvel or anything, or we kind of touched on it.
A little bit. Geez, did you see Daredevil?
Yes, I think I have one more episode to watch. I love that they're bringing... we had Jessica Jones.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No, the second season of
Punisher. Oh, my God. John Bernthal.
It's transcendent.
I know, like,
he's the best.
When I saw that he was going to be in the new Spider-Man, I was like, oh yeah. I wasn't sure how I felt about him as the Punisher, because I really think like the 2 movies, the Thomas Jane.
I like the Thomas Jane one.
I love that one. It felt comic booky, but at the same time, it still felt very grounded.
I have not seen the Punisher Warzone with Ray Stevenson. I've heard it's really good.
Really good.
I heard that he crushes it.
He does a great job. It's sad to me that he died. He was one of my favorite actors.
He's dead?
He died. He had a heart attack.
No way.
Yeah, Balin from Star Wars. Yeah, that was his last role.
What?
He had a heart attack. Yeah, he had a heart attack.
What?
Yeah, he passed away.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Volstagg and Thor?
Yes.
Yeah.
He passed away.
Oh, that sucks.
It sucks. He was one of my favorite actors. Like, I remember him back in Rome. Did you ever see that HBO series Rome? He was one of Titus Polo. That was his character there. And he was one of those characters he always plays. Yeah, he passed away from a heart attack. But yeah, but he's really good in that too.
Yeah.
I think that's the best Jigsaw.
Yeah, well, sure.
The guy who plays Jigsaw in that, it's Dominic. Yeah, Dominic. He was in The Wire.
Okay.
He's been in a bunch of stuff, but he plays it and it's just all over the top with his New York accent and everything else. And he has one scene where he's meeting with like a bunch of like Eastern Europeans to like negotiate guns, and he's like, "Look, I don't speak Dracula. Speak English." And it's like one of those things that comes
a great line.
Like Connor's like, "Hey, we're at a restaurant. Where do you think those people are from?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't speak Dracula." But then when the Punisher came out on Netflix, I was like, "This is so good.
It's incredible."
Like Bernthal's just got that like barely suppressed rage.
Well,
that the character needs.
Yes. So
and he's not a good guy.
No, not really.
No,
and like he like they hint at it where it's like he's talking in the Netflix show. He's like, I always thought that like like I was a good guy, but that's not the case. And my wife, she knew it. Like he was just barely not.
Yeah, like that.
Doing bad
like
things.
His wife and his kids were the thing that kept him from being the utter darkness, and then somebody took that away.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, he tortured.
Yeah, and I mean, not to get into the politics, and the ACAB and that sort of stuff, but it's so funny to see these cops with with the Punisher stuff, and like Punisher.
That always I'm cool. Like if you're a police officer and you're like a Punisher fan, yeah, more power to you. But I think for me, it crosses the line when you put a Punisher skull on your police card.
Right.
Because the Punisher is taking
not
the law into his own hands. Like, he's murdering people. He's judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
And all the other heroes in Marvel, like, despise him.
Yeah, it's like an implied dehumanization, right?
Yes. And, like, there's times where, like, in a Punisher story where, like, he just kills, like, the worst sort of human. You're like, okay, like, I get why that guy's gone. Like, you kind of get it, but at its core, like, this type of person can't exist. He just does because he's that good.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good at killing and evading that, like, he just gets away with it. But, yeah, once the Punisher logo goes on, like, the police car, that's when I'm like, hey.
Yeah, whoa. Yeah.
It's protect and serve.
Yeah, you don't, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that even gets into, like, the militarization of the police and stuff like that. It's just, like, so weird to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, and even, like, in Born Again, like, when the cops spray paint the Punisher logo on their vest, and they're like, hey, like, come work with us, and he's just like, I think you guys are a bunch of clowns.
Yeah. And I think this season has been really good on Daredevil.
Yes. It was much better than the last one.
Yes.
Which I felt bad for the last one because they had, like, some production stuff, like the writer strike.
The costume is perfect.
Oh,
his baton
is incredible.
Oh,
the way they do the camera work with it, it's just like they figured it out.
Yeah, and him and Karen together, I love her.
She's great. That actress, Deborah Ann Wolf.
Yeah,
is so good.
Yeah, going all the way back to like True Blood with her.
Yes,
and she's a Dungeons and Dragons geek too.
She is. She went on John Bernthal's podcast and I learned that. That was cool. But so there's this. You mentioned John Bernthal's like rage. There's a scene in the first season of Punisher on Netflix where he's talking with like Micro, and Karen's in trouble, and Micro's like, "Yo, we can't go save her," and he's like, "Well, if it was your wife, wouldn't you do it?" And he's like, "That's my wife," and he's like, "Karen's not your wife," and John Bernthal's Punisher just goes like, and it's like has like a fit, like cannot put to words his emotions. He's really just like a child. Who just and Tan, I love that scene because it's just like he loves her. He loves her so much, but he can't even bring himself to say it. All he can do is just have like a tantrum. Basically.
Right? Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
And that's what I love about it. It's just like the tantrum.
And like Walking Dead, I was like, he was great. I mean, his character Shane was just kind of, it was annoying, and that was just the way he was written.
For sure.
But I think. Talk about perfect casting for him.
Oh my gosh.
For Netflix did great, and I'm so glad that Netflix. I mean, never mind Iron Fist. I'm
Danny Rand, the immortal
I'm
Iron
Danny
Fist.
Rand. Yeah,
that was tough.
It was tough.
It was very tough.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so glad they're bringing that in. I think the Marvel has done an amazing job with their TV stuff. And I've seen like criticism of the TV stuff. Again, it's sort of like my biggest complaint is like you've got these TV characters that are so good and so strong. Moon Knight.
Yeah.
It's like you need to bring. I'm hoping with the new Avengers movie we get some of them up there.
Moon Knight, I think, had the best costume ever.
Yes.
Ever. I don't
and like the world building.
The world building was great. Oscar Isaac is is just like an amazing actor. So to get him is like. Just so
so good.
I thought the score was really good in that movie.
Yeah, it was just show too. Yeah, and I think what works so well there is that long form.
Yeah, you've got time. Khonshu's cool in that.
Khonshu,
great design as well.
I think like WandaVision was so good. Although I'm really not happy what they did with her character. Like,
I think Multiverse of Madness was a misstep.
I think it was.
that was the movie I was most hyped for. And when I saw it at first, like, I mean, it was just like the Illuminati and all that. They throw so much at you that I walked away. I'm like, I think I like that because so much like shit happened. And then like upon rewatch, I was like, this whole Wanda thing, did not do it.
It didn't do it. Like, she's a good guy. She needs to stay a good guy. Like, we've grown to like and love this character.
Yes, for sure. And like, it was kind of nonsensical. Like, why is Vision not a part of what she wants?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that was a misstep too. It's like, we just saw WandaVision. Like, Vision's her guy. Like, I get her wanting her kids back, but why is Vision not a part of her?
Why is Vision not a part of this? Yeah.
Her fantasy.
It was, and, or like, I mean, I dug that they got the Doctor Strange from the What If.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was so cool. When it was that
like
crazy
world, and they did the whole like music fight.
Yeah,
love that.
Love
the demon cape when he like comes out of the ground and he's a zombie. Makes a demon cape. I mean, there was like things that I liked about it, but like just plot stuff that was like a misfire for me.
Yeah, they've done so well there, but then like translating that. But I mean, I don't know. Like I like the Eternals. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's like, oh, it was such a misstep and everything. I like the Eternals. I thought it was a good movie.
I have seen the Eternals so many times. I'm like I'm an Eternals fanboy.
I am too.
Everyone who I talk to is like, dude, that sucked. Even though
it didn't though. It was a good movie. Like, and there were characters that you could. There were characters in that I would love to see more of.
I can't remember the actor's name. He's the Irish guy. He plays Druig.
Yes.
Has the mind control. I thought his character when he like. The concept of him like not being down with what they're doing is just like, you know what? I'm stopping all fighting. Yeah. I'm trying to be benevolent, even if like you can like obviously like free will is important, but like you get it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. And he's like, yeah, I'm down. I'm done with genocide. You all can fuck off and I'm gonna have this peaceful community.
I think
so cool.
I mean, obviously the problem with Kang, the actor with Kang. That kind of like they had to pivot a lot, really, and I think that's why the Ant-Man one sucked so bad because they were like, "Oh, what do we do now?"
But Loki season 2 was good.
Loki season 2, oh my god,
was like might be one of the best things I've ever done. Like,
I know
the Loki show is incredible.
I'm so excited to see what they do, but like, and it was like I feel like they kind of burned through like the really good, but when they started bringing these secondary characters for those of us that are geeks and that read those comics, it was like so good. Like to see Moon Knight, how awesome was that?
So good,
you know. But yeah, so I'll be curious to see. Secret Wars.
Well, so Doomsday's coming up.
Doomsday.
Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I'm nervous.
I'm pretty nervous.
The whole Robert Downey thing is weird.
It's strange.
It's strange.
He's a great actor. I think he could do a good job.
Do you like Fantastic Four?
Did I like it? There was a lot that I liked. There's a couple of like, I don't know if it's like an editing thing where like I couldn't tell how much time was passing once they got back to Earth.
Right.
Otherwise, like I liked Johnny's story. Like I liked all the characters.
like the very weird sort of like the world if like the 1950s and 60s, like the aesthetics and stuff had changed.
Yeah. I thought that was super cool. I love
with super science, right?
Yes, I love when they went into space.
Yeah,
and like the whole bit with Silver Surfer chasing them, and like I thought that was all great. The world was cool, but some of the editing stuff where it's like, okay, Galactus is coming, and they're like trying to figure out like what to do. I just couldn't tell how much time was.
But and I think that's like a big problem with like a lot of movies. Like, look, we've already done Silver Surfer and Galactus with the other Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
don't do that again. Or like how many times we need to see Spidey's origin story.
Right.
Just like Batman. How many times do we need to be the kid in that alley with the falling pearls, right?
Right. It's a...
I mean, everybody knows the story. Everybody understands it.
Knows that you grow up knowing.
You don't need to keep redoing that. And I think with Fantastic Four, I think they could have gone a different way. And I understand it's also like, hey, look at...
Mole Man.
Yeah.
Mole Man was in it. Like, if they had done that and gone like
Silver
subterranean
Surfer and Galactus. Yes, I get those are two of the big bads for Fantastic Four.
Sure.
Just like Doc Ock is with Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
You know, but going a different path. You don't need to retread.
Yes. And Fantastic Four has like so much you can pull from.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like the cast.
I did too.
Yeah, I didn't like overly dislike it. But I don't think it had like the punch I was.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like
I love Thunderbolts. That was my shit.
Oh my god! Well, you know what I did for Halloween this year?
What?
I was the world's greatest Soviet super soldier.
So
like the minute I saw Alexei, I was like, "That's a cosplay I can do."
It's
with the beard and my gut,
the big like padded.
Yeah, so that's what I was for Halloween this year. I had my buddy; he 3D printed me an entire.
You have to show me a picture.
Yeah, red soldier. Yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah, I love Yelena.
Oh my god, yeah,
I think she's great.
But David Harbour, he's another one of those actors now that like I see him and so I'm like, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's like a
Alexei
he's
is one of the best characters. I love it.
Oh, I thought he was like one of the highlights of the Black Widow movie.
Yeah,
he is like a shine in.
And I like John
Walker.
John Walker, yeah, like great value Captain America.
Yeah. He's like discount Captain America, basically.
Yeah.
That was a great joke. Value store about Captain America.
Yeah, but
I like him.
It kind of redeemed him a little bit.
Yes.
And Bob was just
great.
Yeah,
hilarious, but also like brought a real intensity and sadness.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work.
Yeah. The Thunderbolts like made me cautiously optimistic for Doomsday.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a great lead in.
Well, and it was crazy to me, like, because, the end credit with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. It's okay.
But, like, that coming in, like, I was really hoping that you would see what caused that when Fantastic Four came out. And they never
And you don't, yeah, it's still a mystery.
Which was kind of a little disappointing. But I could also see them hedging their bets, like they did with Thanos. With Guardians of the Galaxy and with Thor.
Yes, right.
Where we had Thanos and in like the end credits and stuff. Yes. And then when the movie came, it was different.
Oh my gosh.
Josh Brolin.
Incredible. I'll forever remember seeing Infinity War for the first time. And you've got like the logos going, like, we're an Asgardian ship, we've got no, and I was like in the sense of immediate dread.
Yeah.
And you're watching, and then the first like 10 minutes, half the Asgardians are dead and Loki gets killed, and I was like, what the fuck is
happening? Yeah.
And
then
it just like,
do you remember when you had to snap and just the quiet?
Oh yeah.
And then it was like everybody's going away, and then it's end credits, and it's still quiet, and like nobody spoke in the theater.
We talked about just felt moments where like 4 days later you're still like, what's happening?
Like you were gutted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then
it's like, I gotta wait a year for this now.
And the marketing for Endgame was like, they gave you
zero.
Nothing. So like every trailer you're like, what's this movie? Like what is gonna happen? You had no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It was
the best. It was like one of the last like true pop culture moments.
Yeah. And
that everyone
like, I mean, if the Marvel universe had ended that with that movie, I would have probably been okay with it. I'm glad they've gone on.
Yes, no, I mean, yeah, for sure.
And I mean, they're going to do it as long as they can keep printing money.
Yeah, right. For sure.
But yeah.
We'll see how long.
I'll be curious to see Deadpool in with other
See how they mix up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a tough tone to balance.
I think like Deadpool and Wolverine. Like Wolverine is the perfect foil.
Yes.
For Deadpool.
Yes. For sure.
Because he could tell him to fuck off, right?
Yes. And Hugh Jackman was the best part of that Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Yeah. Like,
in my opinion.
That scene when they're in the Honda Odyssey.
Oh.
And he just loses his shit. It's like, did anybody tell Hugh Jackman that this is a comic book movie? Because he brought that scene. There's just so much anger and rage and sadness, and it was like, okay, we've kicked up the acting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And it was so insane.
Yeah.
It was like nobody told him it was a popcorn movie, and and then of course I'm going to fight you now.
Yeah, and he kind of laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they have the whole like fight in the Honda Odyssey, and Deadpool's like, I was wrong. The Honda Odyssey fogs.
So good.
Classic.
Deadpool, yeah. Like, I talk about a character that was made. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I mean,
it's top 5 casting as far as comic book.
Yeah, right.
Characters.
And I think Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, 100%. Chris Evans became Captain America.
It was a role he grew into.
I think Captain America: The First Avenger is one of the best movies. That's on my top 3.
So I have them ranked. It's in my. If it's not in my top 10, it's 11. I love it. I think when I first watched it, because it came out in 2011,
right?
And I was like 16, and like Iron Man was so cool, and I didn't like quite get Captain America because it's like an homage to like the Indiana Jones like serials, and it's so different from Iron Man that it took a while. So I should say it took me a while to grow into it. It's now one of my favorites.
Right.
I think it sets the character of Captain America perfectly.
Yeah. So growing up, for me, Spider-Man was my big guy.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was like 5, maybe 6 or 7 years old. We were at my grandparents' house. And my grandmother went in the attic and she pulled out a box and she's like, "Here, you can have these. These were your dad's. They're all my dad's Silver Era Spider-Mans." And so that's what I started reading. And I still have them.
Good for you.
Like I have Spider-Man number 1 through 40.
Get out.
I mean, they're not in the best shape.
Sure,
my dad was one of those guys who would fold them backwards.
Oh.
So the covers are
messed up.
But I have all of those. But so I read Spider-Man, and that was my comic. Like all Spider-Man, but I also Captain America was my other guy. So I read a lot of the early Captain America, and stuff like that. And so like when Captain America, the First Avenger came out, I was like, okay, this is it. Winter Soldier was amazing.
I think it's my second favorite.
Yeah,
it's like
I keep wanting to do a TikTok. Like going through Cleveland with this, where they shot the different scenes.
Yes, it was like a lot of it was shot in Cleveland.
Yeah,
like to be DC,
right?
Like the streets of DC. Yeah,
but like Captain America, the Avengers, they shot a bunch of stuff in Cleveland because the Russos are from Cleveland. Yeah, they got their start in Cleveland with the Cleveland Film Institute,
which is so awesome.
Yeah,
and Community's great. I don't know if you watched Community.
Yes. Yeah.
Tan, I like that. Yeah, I've got Avengers 1 through 6 Marvel Masterworks.
Nice.
So like the first 60 issues in their Masterworks. Actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see.
So we could talk for hours. The girls are gonna get mad.
We do. I know. I'm sure Tay's pissed.
That's old school. I can see it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I read it. I mean, I just have like random individual issues that my dad had.
1973?
Yeah.
Yeah, these old ones like this. You need to get these boarded.
I do. I have a couple of them boarded, but for the most part, they're just like sitting on each other.
Yeah. I think I might have this one. The Serpent Squad. Maybe I don't. I have a bunch. Next time you're over, I've got them all sitting up at the corner of the pub.
Oh, actually, I know we're still rolling, but I do want to show you this too. So I've got a couple that are I had it hung up somewhere. Where did it go? I'll have to ask Tay where it is. It's not the one I wanted to show you, but I've got like a classic Avengers.
Nice.
We've got a The Web of Spider-Man issue 100.
Okay, all right. Giant size 100 issue.
And then the first issue, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, look at 1993. That's awesome.
Yeah. First issue of Thunderstrike, Eric Masterson.
Oh, excellent.
Ditches the identity of Thor and becomes Thunderstrike.
I went through mine and I found I have Doctor Strange number 1.
Sweet.
I also have number 7 Sandman, which is the introduction of Death.
Cool.
And that was the whole reason I bought it.
Awesome.
I love that character. I have, the original Death of Gwen Stacy.
Oh, which was like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
For the time.
Yeah, like comic books were a thing.
Yeah. Well,
like I could see, like I get why people get crazy about collecting them.
I get it.
And I had to stop because I was like, okay.
I actually had like a vision in my head. I'm like, well, I'll have this library and I'll collect it. And it becomes consuming where it's like.
Yeah.
there's also something satisfying about seeing everything in order. Maybe that's my touch.
That's the other, yes. I 100% get that. Yeah, it's like, well, I'm missing number 32.
Yeah, I've got my Marvel Blu-rays organized in watch order, and like if you mess them up, I'm like, and I see it like kind of.
Yeah. No.
What's going on? That's not how that goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great. Like, geeky stuff is just cool. Like,
it's the best.
It is, and it's like, embrace your weirdness, right?
Yes.
Embrace the geek.
And like, even if it's like not something, like if I come across someone and they're geeky about something else and it's not really my thing, I'm still like stoked for them.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like, not my thing, but more power to you. And I want to hear about it because like, I also have stuff that I love that I could vomit onto you.
Excuse me while I talk about something I'm hyper-fixated on.
Yes.
Well, and that's just it. Like my wife, like I married this, she's so straight. She's just such a normal person. Like she doesn't get me a lot of times.
Oh, that's great.
I'm an artist. I collect weird things, and I'm into really crazy geeky stuff, like whether it's comic books or horror movies or Magic the Gathering, you know, and like sometimes like I'll just talk about something and she's like, "Oh, that's great, honey." So she's super tolerant, but at the same time, it's like when you meet somebody who you can geek out about it, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like I think about, and I want to make this point before, like when we were talking about like the Eternals. Like I love the Eternals, great movie, right?
Yeah.
But I always think about, I have a buddy who's a Star Wars guy. He's a Star Wars guy, and I think it's really kind of crazy. Like, I understand, like, liking your stuff, but you also have to kind of be critical of your stuff. Like, you have to understand. I say he's like a Star Wars apologist.
Oh.
Because everything is good.
Oh.
Everything was awesome in its own way.
That's not true.
And I'm like...
Dude, come on.
Like, episode 9 really soured me on Star Wars. I stopped watching Star Wars for a couple of years after that.
Just in general?
In general.
Go back and,
I couldn't go back and I couldn't enjoy it because it was like so bad.
I've seen it once. I started to watch it a second time with Tay, and I don't think we finished it.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
And I'm like, episode 1 is bad.
Phantom Menace?
Yeah. Yeah. And I get, like, because he's of that age where, like, when he was young, that's what his Star Wars was.
Sure.
And so he's got that nostalgic thing for it,
which I get because I was born in 95 and it came out in 99, so like I came of age with it. It is
you grew up with like the DVDs and the
but it is, there are things that I do, there are parts that I like, but it is bad. Like it's bad. It's not good.
It's not good.
I think Attack of the Clones is worse, personally.
Yeah, it's like which is,
it's a preference thing.
Yeah,
but I
think
struggle.
Episode 3 is great. I love episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith is awesome. There's some of that prequel weirdness in it, but for the most part, like, it's really enjoyable.
To me, it comes down to is that George Lucas had nobody in the room saying, "Yeah, George, that's a bad idea." When he had that with episodes 4, 5, and 6,
right? Well, and didn't like, direct.
Yeah, like Empire Strikes Back by Irvin Kershner wasn't even directed by him, so that it just having that different perspective, but. Looking at your stuff and seeing the warts as well, I think. So, like, I mean, I can look at the Netflix and say, look, Iron Fist sucked. But I think, the Ant-Man sequel, not good.
No, Quantumania was not great.
Doctor Strange, Multiverse
of Madness,
not great. You know, but so being able to look at it and say, okay, it's not great.
Did you see the Marvels?
Yeah, I loved it.
So I liked it. I
loved it. I liked it.
Okay, so here's my thing. I like it better than the first Captain Marvel. Okay, which I think is a little boring sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
But the Marvels, I don't know if I think it's like a good movie, but I love watching it. It is so fast paced.
Yes.
It is so entertaining, and Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel is like...
I was just going to say,
I love her.
Kamala Khan's like, amazing. She's such a fangirl, and she's
perfect.
It's like you're seeing this greater superhero universe through her eyes.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes that movie so charming.
Yes, it does. It is charming.
Yeah.
And it's only an hour and a
And
half.
she's so happy.
The
like,
villain
she's
is
like,
like whatever.
Oh my, yeah.
But like,
you could say that about a lot
of them.
Yeah. But she's just she makes, because I think Captain Marvel, she can be a little bit dour.
Yes.
And I think that
I feel Brie Larson also gets like some unreasonable hate.
She does.
I don't really.
I think she's great.
I think she's totally like fine.
Yeah.
I don't get why people. Hate her so much.
I get that they can be serious, but I think Kamala Khan dragged them.
Yes.
And made it fun.
Made it fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's so silly, like the cats eating everyone. Like,
oh my god,
it's just a silly fun time.
The Flurkins.
Yeah, they're great. Silly fun time. All right, we should probably get out.
We should get out of here. Yeah.
All right, Dale, dude, thank you so much. For
Anytime,
doing this.
man.
This was a total blast. We got to geek out. Congrats on the papers.
Thank you.
Congrats on you said you had the one coming up.
Yeah, so it'll be out before August, which is the next convention. So,
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Really appreciate it. Let's go get some dinner.
Yeah, sounds good.
Bye, everyone. What's up, everybody? It's Jake here, Fowler and Friends. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me and all of us over here at Fowler and Friends. So if you could please like, subscribe, comment, do all of that. But definitely subscribe, share the video with your friends, keep on supporting the channel. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.